Hello again, YouTube! We are back with another Scribblenauts Unlimited Object Editor Commentary Action Episode thing. What? But anyway, this is actually us going to be creating Wolverina right here. So we're taking the design from my Primarina and we're combining it in essence with Wolverine. I've never made Wolverine actually in the object editor here in this. We've done like how many videos on this Scribblenauts series? There's over 300 numbered episodes, but probably around like 400 videos in total. Wolverine was never the most popular, most requested. But we're changing things up here a little bit. You're going to see a Dartfish coming up in there. We had Daggertooth middle body pieces. The Dartfish started the claws there on Wolverina. Essentially, Wolverine combined with Primarina. This idea comes from, hopefully, a video that you all have seen, and if you haven't, I'm going to point you right to it after we mentioned that was a spiderfish bottom fin right there for the rest of the adamantium claws. The series that I hope that you have seen is starting brand new, a ROM hack of Pokemon Fire Red. It's called Ultra Fire Red XD, and so we are going to be playing that through that on this channel as long as viewer feedback is okay. People seem to enjoy it and all that. So if you remember when I created Primarina, this was all the way back before Pokemon Sun and Moon had come out, you know, so clearly kind of a long time ago now, but I will link in a top comment and in the description to that episode so you can learn exactly how Primarina was created, but you just sort of make these alterations here that I'm making. There's not a whole lot of them for Primarina. We are going to create one other thing, but essentially my series was that I was going to call it Heromon for that ROM hack of Pokemon, because we're going to name all of our Pokemon that we catch in that Fire Red ROM hack, in that Ultra Fire Red XD game. We're naming them with hero names and stuff, heroes or villains, so anything in that superhero kind of Marvel or DC culture and whatnot. Shark fin, the bottom fin of the shark right there for these Wolverine. You know how Wolverine, especially in the comics, it wasn't so much in the movies of course, but in the comics, Wolverine had the 2 spikes on his head. That was part of his costume. So anyway, the Primarina head is mostly that. We also had a Sphinx. If you take the creature Sphinx, use the back behind leg of that. If you've never seen Scribblenauts before, of course, you've got to connect the head and the body when you make them separately, so we do that this way. You know, the head should be scripted basically to be worn on the face like glasses or worn on the head like a hat, and we're just going to move around the grid for where the head goes when we edit the body object right there, and that should actually be kind of a good place for Wolverina's head. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. I got my Puff Shroom from when we did PvZ, Plants vs. Zombies. It was the original game, the Night Plants. That was also another episode from a long time ago. Possibly actually close to the time, though, that we created Primarina. Ouch, he was trying to attack me. Alright, here we go. Wolverina, gonna be going up against a hostile Puff Shroom up in this piece. So let's see. Come on, Wolverina. I know that you could do this. That's just a little mushroom. But we did actually give the scripting, basically, that once Wolverina is created, it's gonna gain the adjective of regenerating, because how could we not have Wolverine crossed with Primarina and then not include that? But it also shooting out bubbles and whatnot, so still kind of getting that Primarina aspect in there. There we go, everybody! Wolverina coming out on top, my friends. Of course, I kind of expected that, to be honest. Look, I'm gonna ride it. There we go. A little bit of weird movement, of course, when you start off with a seal in Scribblenauts Unlimited. It already does that, you know, where the arms sort of look like they're detached. But also in the series, could be spoiler, if you haven't seen my Ultra Fire Red XD first episode yet, we did catch an Alolan Rattata right here. I created that starting off with a CHUPACABRA as the source object, so we're going to show you that mostly step by step, but kind of breeze right through this. A bunyip, the bottom leg piece, you could call it, in the back. Mutant, the back arm of a mutant, starting that off. Flying squirrel also for the tail right there, so the mutant arms, good way to start that off with the ghoul, the fish ghoul, that side fin as the hands there. A duckling body piece can start off our head with a hula dancer, the back arm of the female hula dancer. We can get that. That's like the muzzle kind of shape right there for Alolan Rattata. Looking good. Goldfish bottom fin pieces for that crazy villainous mustache that Alolan Rattata has. I love the Alolan form of Rattata. I do. Notice also Canadian bacon as the ears. Isn't that sort of an odd stamp to use, but I liked it because it had the 2 different shadings, especially when you kind of paint it with that light black color. It looks like 2 different shades. Now, we had Alolan Rattata in there, but to make it fused with our superhero, or should I say superheroine, I actually had decided in that episode, I was like trying to think, okay, well, it was a female Alolan Rattata, and I wanted to make a female, a superheroine, be that crossover, and I wanted it to kind of like be fitting in with the name a little bit, but mostly how could we incorporate the fact that it is black? Well, Black Canary is a superheroine in the DC universe, kind of, I think, most recently making fame for Arrow, if anybody's seen Arrow, but again, that's not even necessarily like a really recent show or anything. That's just the most recent, I think, reference that I could find. I'm not incredibly familiar with Black Canary, but what I've looked up of her, pretty awesome, of course, but she wears these fishnets in the comic books. In the Arrow show, not so much, so I kind of combined those looks. We gave him a mask that was also using the Sphinx, that same leg piece from before. Did give a belt with just a glow stick painted all the way black. Look at it holding a Tonfa right there. Every image that I'm seeing of her from the Arrow show, I gotta see this show, maybe, but I see her carrying Tonfas or some kind of close-range weapon like that. So here, we'll go with a regular Alolan Rattata against the Tonfa-wielding Black Canarat. Kaboom! Because Black Canary with Rattata, you'd call it Black Canarat. Am I right? Or am I just reaching? No, I'm right. Here, look, I also did that, it will attack with a sonar attack. There it goes. Maybe I can slow that down. You know, once it loses or gains some health in Scribblenauts here, it's gonna attack with sonar. You know, it shoots a projectile, which is a sonar. That does sort of look a little bit weird, but her kind of main powers in the show, in the comics and whatnot for Black Canary was that she could just use this screech. Her name comes from canary, right? So it's like this big screech, supersonic screech. That's just one of them. But seriously, gonna need the fan feedback. Gonna see what the views and the engagement are like, but my plan was essentially to do that ROM hack playthrough in tandem with this. We're gonna create them in Scribblenauts Unlimited, and we can use these Scribblenauts designs that you're seeing on screen of these characters fused with superheroes, Pokemon and superheroes. We were gonna use them in the layout of my playthrough, so you know, you could always see who was in my bag of 6 Pokemon, or in my lineup, I should call it, and the way to see it will be on the layout in the episode on the sidebar. We'll have our Scribblenauts designs for whoever we're catching. I thought it was a good idea. I hope you guys did too, so I will catch you on the next vid, and thanks for viewing.